Hello, welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be discussing about what we learned from this November camp. So let's start off with the video. The USMNT had a very successful camp this month. They played two games against two teams that are already qualified to the World Cup, and they qualified out of CONMEBOL South America, one of the toughest confederations, one of the top two, maybe even for some the best confederation in the world. And they beat two teams from that confederation that are already qualified to the World Cup. Paraguay and Uruguay. They beat Paraguay and Philadelphia 2-1, and then they beat Uruguay and Tampa 5-1. So today we're going to be discussing about what we learned, who has their stocks up, who has their stocks down, and we're going to be discussing all of this in this video. So let's start off with the video. But before we continue, I'd like to tell you guys to like and subscribe because it is very important that you guys like and subscribe so you guys can never miss another video. And to also not to forget to follow me on X and on TikTok. There will be more content on those pages. First, we were doing a quick recap of both games, starting off with the game in Philadelphia. The USMNT opened the scoring with an early goal from Gio Reyna, nice header, and also nice cross from Max Arston. I know I criticized Max Arston, but he did play good this game. He was good offensively, and defensively, he wasn't exposed as much. And then Gio, man of the match during that game, amazing game from Gio, just proved himself on why he should be on the roster regardless of his club form, because he's a player that always makes a difference for the national team regardless of his club situation. And then Paraguay equalized the game. I think Miguel Almiron was offside when he got the ball, but still, I think Joe Scally and especially Miles Robinson were responsible for the goal. And Arce header managed to equalize the game for Paraguay. Not a lot of stuff happened during the first half. The USMNT were a little bit better than Paraguay, but for the second half, I do think the USMNT were superior to Paraguay throughout most of the second half, excluding the last 5 or 10 minutes where Paraguay were just trying to equalize the game. But still, I think the USMT was better during the second half than Paraguay, and I think Ballo should have he should have won a penalty before that second goal. The ref was on some BS during that game. He was horrible during the game. But then, well, Ballo scored a goal. I think that was a Gio Reyna assist, although it bounced off the defender and it should not count. But still, I think you can count it somewhat as an assist. And Gio basically had a goal and an assist, and Ballo managed to score the goal to make the scoring 2-1. And there was also a fight at the end of the game. Alderete from Sunderland got suspended near the end of the game. It was somewhat chaotic, but it was nice to see that the USMNT had some fight on them. They had some energy, and this energy being back with the national team is something great to see. Next, we're going with the game in Tampa, where it was a complete destruction of Uruguay. The USMT opened the scoring with a goal from Sebastian Berhalter. It was a golazo, an absolute belter of a shot to make the scoring 1-0. An absolute amazing shot. It was similar to the Toni Kroos goal in the 2018 World Cup against Sweden. Just a very amazing shot from Sebastian Berhalter. And then another nice set piece from Sebastian Berhalter, this time a corner kick, finds Alex Freeman completely by himself to make the game 2-0. Alex Freeman had a nice header. He just jumped high up into the air and just had a nice header to make the scoring 2-0. And then Alex Freeman, I do not know what was he on during this game, but he just took on everybody from Uruguay, and he put Ronald Araujo on skates, and then he just had a very nice goal to make the game 2-0. And he had himself a brace, and he was playing as a right center back. So amazing game from Alex Freeman. I thought that he was the man of the match for this game. Amazing game from Alex Freeman. I think there's a good discussion to have if he should be starting as that right center back spot. I think he should be starting because from that game, I do feel like he just showed a lot of promise for this upcoming World Cup. And then, well, Diego Luna made it 4-0. John Tolkien, I think he had a cross to the top of the box, and Diego Luna was just happened to be like on the top of the box, but completely by himself, no one marking him, and he just shot the ball to make the game 4-0, and the game was basically over. Then De Arrascaeta, he scored a pretty nice goal, but the game was practically over, and well, the first half ended 4-1, so that should say a lot about how this game went for Uruguay. And then, well, nothing much happened in the second half. Rodrigo Bentancur, the captain for Uruguay, he got suspended. He got red carded because of a reckless foul on Sebastian Berhalter, who him and John Tolkien they got fouled a lot this game from what I saw. And then, well, Gio Reyna came on to the game, and not even 10 minutes after he came in, he had a nice assist for Tanner Tessman. And well, that was like a very good win for the USMT, complete dominance over Uruguay. I know like the Uruguay players might have already quit on Bielsa, but still very amazing result. Next, we're going to be going with who has their stocks up after this camp. I think someone who definitely has his stocks up, especially how he went to going into this camp, is Gio Reyna. A lot of commentators, a lot of fans. Poch, even during his press conference, he was saying like he doesn't plan on giving Gio Reyna a lot of minutes. He cannot assure that. But after this camp, someone who definitely has played his way into the roster is Gio Reyna. Regardless of club form, I know a lot of people will say, well, he doesn't play for his club. Yeah, and when he, like, a lot of people will also say, like, he doesn't contribute much on defense. He doesn't press. He doesn't put effort in tracking back. Well, after this camp, you just saw that he definitely, like, when he puts on that national team jersey, he means business. And during that first game against Paraguay, outside of having the goal and basically having an assist, he was also tracking back, getting involved in the game. He just showed you like when he plays for the national team, he means business. Like you can say whatever you want about how he plays for his club, but when he puts on that national team jersey, he means business. And another person that also has his stock up after this camp is Alex Freeman. Alex Freeman was the man of the match against Uruguay, and he scored a brace. But outside of that, defensively, he was solid. He dribbled the ball a lot of times into midfield to make some dangerous situations for Uruguay. And also during that first game against Paraguay, when he came on, there was also two very good moments where Alex Freeman just dribbles into midfield, and you can see like he has the ball in a dangerous position where the USMT can make a play. So I like that a lot from Alex Freeman. And like when you're asking for that right center back to dribble into the midfield and to be dangerous in attack, if there's someone in this player pool who can do that, especially at the right center back position, it is Alex Freeman. Like Alex Freeman is a dynamic player. He knows how to dribble, and he's when you give him space, Alex Freeman is a very dangerous player and a prospect who's already ready for Europe. And MLS, I definitely do think it is Alex Freeman. Alex Freeman was the young player of the year. I think it was also deserving. He was by far one of the best players in the league and at his position, and also one of the three best players for Orlando City during this season. A dynamic player, and after this game, well, it just showed you he's already ready for Europe. Next, we're going to go with who has their stock down after this camp. Starting off first with Miles Robinson. He was garbage against Paraguay, and I don't think he got minutes against Uruguay. He was just horrendous on defense. Like he was caught off position multiple times during that Paraguay game. And then Aiden Morris for the Uruguay game. I was not impressed, and I do think he was when he came out against Paraguay during the first game, he wasn't very good as well. But talking about this Uruguay game where the USMT completely dominated, I don't think he did a lot during the game. I don't remember seeing him like during the game at all. And defensively, he was poor against Uruguay. So if there's two players who has their stocks down after this camp, it definitely has to be Aiden Morris and Miles Robinson. If you're Poch, and if I was Poch, I'll definitely like be having Aiden Morris and Miles Robinson out of the picture for that World Cup roster. Now we're going to finish this with a section on Poch. Before this fall, I was extremely critical of Maris Pochettino. I was saying he doesn't know the player pool. He's doing a very bad job. The USMT basically on the effort side and on let's say on the commitment side, it was definitely very similar to that Berhalter era, where everybody was just being extremely casual. But after this fall, I'm like, man, I have to give some credit to Maris Pochettino where credit is due. He has been amazing so far at managing this national team during this fall, especially during these 2 months, October and especially November, getting two good results against two national teams that are already qualified to World Cup. I think it's just amazing, and especially considering that Uruguay, they were basically playing with half their starting 11 was basically the starters. It was the first string guys, and basically for our team, it was basically just Sergio Dest and Matt Freeze who were starters so far. But I do think after this game, I do think Alex Freeman has played himself to be a starter at that right center back spot. But regardless of that, basically it was basically full of second stringers, third stringers, and if you look at the case of Tim Tillman, I don't even think he's a top five option at that position. So definitely getting that result and with that team, I do have to give some credit to Poch. He has been amazing so far. This back three system has been phenomenal for the national team. A lot of fans have been calling out for this for a long time, and the manager who finally does this is Poch. So you have to give some credit to Poch, and looking forward to this 2026 year, the most important year in U.S. soccer history. I'm very excited for this national team as Poch is in command of this national team. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.